I think we know why Michelle Obama and George Bush hang out, and it ain't because they were handing out Girl Scout cookies together.
If they were running trains,
God, I hope
you know
so.
what it is, TG Triz gang over here.
Yo, what is the soundtrack to a Michelle Obama George Bush train?
I will say, it's just a DJ who can play both. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not.
okay.
They're not. It's that Nelly song that he did with that country. What was the?
The Accidental Racist.
No, that's LL Cool J did Accidental Racist.
All in My Head.
Yeah, it's that shit.
Yeah, Over and Over. Tim McGraw, I think that was.
That's okay. That's
yeah. There it is, Tim McGraw.
All in My Head. I might think about that. I might play it on my bike later.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's no reason. Look, he made a mistake, but there's no reason we shouldn't enjoy the mistake.
No.
Exactly. And I'm so anxious. Meet me at 11:30. I love when you're talking dirty.
Come on.
Welcome back to another phenomenal episode of My Momma Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally worked to prove what the fuck happened to that little monkey Kodak Black Honda had on his shoulder for about 2 weeks. Where did it go? Ritual sacrifice? Some type of a Haitian monkey stew? You have questions and we have answers. I'm David Boyd.
Whoa, I'm Langston Kerman, and I forgot about that monkey. I'll be honest.
Everybody did. Everybody did, except for CPS.
There are times, and I do think I often find myself sort of rolling my eyes at like PETA ads that like make it so that like you can't do a goddamn thing near an animal without it being like this horrible attack on the species. And it's like, relax, y'all. I get it. We probably should chill on a lot of shit, but then you see what Kodak Black is doing with a monkey, and you're like, nah, PETA's right.
I don't know if matching clothes with the monkey is the worst life for that monkey, though.
Yeah, but you know he didn't just match clothes with that monkey. I
bet he let him ride the. He let him drive the Phantom.
I think he was driving Phantoms. I think he was smoking weird, like fucking wet. He was smoking fucking dipped marijuana. You know what I mean? Just fucking bad stuff. That monkey.
You know it's a bad drug when it's just described as a texture. You're like, oh, he's got that crunchy. You're like, yep, that's the problem.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, you don't want to get that to a spider monkey that don't know what the fuck is going on.
You know he fed at Jolly Ranchers for sure.
That's what I'm saying. He was doing crazy shit with that monkey. At the very least, that monkey had more Popeyes than any monkey has ever had.
That's true.
And that's wrong.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
That's not right.
You're right. The monkey ate better than me some days.
Our guest today, he's phenomenal. He's a returning guest. We've had him on before. You know him from his own podcast. You know him from all kinds of hilarious shit, interesting shit. I won't limit you to hilarious shit. You do fascinating work out in the world, I would say.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
He's a fan favorite, a personal favorite. Give it up for Miles Gray, everybody.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm fucking here. I'm glad to be talking conspiracy shit with you guys today, because when the producer reached out and was asking, like, you got something? I was like, let me think off the top of my head. First, I was like, does that time when everyone thought Lil Flip had AIDS count as a conspiracy theory back in 2006?
Let me just jump in here. Yes, it does.
It very much counts.
But then I was like,
100%.
is that too black? To be like, yo, remember when everybody was like, Lil Flip got AIDS?
Buddy, we did
not.
an episode about Lil Bow Wow being molested by his driver. Nothing is
yeah, right. Exactly.
Nothing is too black or off limits for this sick podcast.
Yeah. But I'm glad we landed on something that definitely really intersected with my life, my upbringing in an intense way. So yeah. Anyways, good to be here.
I'm really glad you're here, and I think I speak for both of us. We both screamed with joy at the as soon as it was sent over. We were like, yes, this is tight. Hell yeah.
This is more universal. I feel like this everybody maybe has heard about what we're going to talk about.
I don't know.
Or not.
Bori, I don't want to jump the gun here, but had you heard about this before this?
I had heard about it retroactively. So at the time, I did not hear about it because I was not sexually awoken at the time. I was still trying to see a titty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't. This was advanced for me.
This would have been a bit of a AAU tournament you had no business competing in.
And also, if I'm going to be honest, I was trying to impress you guys. I was trying to feel a titty. I don't know why I did that. That was crazy. I was not.
Even looking at it was beyond your...
There was no situation that would have...
Show me. No.
Not today.
Yeah, there's nothing going on.
Well, we shouldn't dilly or dally any further. Miles, your conspiracy, you said, my mama told me.
Rainbow parties are real.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yep.
First, and I'll leave it on your shoulders to explain to our sweet listeners who are good Christians, by the way.
Yes.
I want to remind you, this is a Christian podcast first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Won't do it. There
it is.
That Christ drop real quick. Yeah.
Remind our sweet Christian listeners what a rainbow party is.
Yes. So, children of God, gather around because I would love to bless you with the knowledge of the rainbow party. So, I'll first talk about the way I heard it. I was probably in 9th or 10th grade. And somebody goes, hey, man, you hear about these rainbow parties? And this is like,
some dude.
Yeah. It's like my friend who's also a virgin. He's like, oh, man, you hear about these rainbows? I was like, what the fuck is a rainbow
He's just
party?
rubbing his hands together. And you're like, why are you being like that, man?
Yeah, like, why are you doing the bird man? Like, rubbing your mitts like that? Hey, man, you heard about these rainbow parties? So I was like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, so, over at Grant High School, my cousin goes there. They say they do this thing where all the ladies, they put a different shade of lipstick on, and then all the dudes are at this party, and each person has, they take turns. Someone gives them a blowjob and puts the lipstick on their dick, and then at the end, all the different shades of lipstick that are being worn by the people at the party give you like a rainbow colored dick, and then that's what a rainbow party is. And I was like, say less. I believe it. Like, why isn't it happening here? Like, I need to believe that this is real. Yes.
Yeah. You had me at all the girls.
Yeah. Like, in one place. And they don't care if my braces aren't off yet. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm cooking.
Sweet. Even the ones with low self-esteem? That sounds like my kind of vibe.
Yeah, absolutely, Playboy.
Shout out to all the dudes waiting to get their braces off for that first.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, this summer is about to be on.
It's over for y'all math tutors. Get these braces off. So, yeah, that was like the theory was basically an oral sex party where all the ladies wear different shades of lipstick and whoever has the most shades collected on their penis, I guess, wins or whatever. And there was never really like an outcome, more to be like, and it's like a chromatic mess on your shaft.
Right.
And that was like enough for everybody to be like, yep, we're here for
and
that.
we leave little alcohol wipes at the door so you can get the makeup off. It's all
exactly.
It's a very efficient party.
Yeah, absolutely.
I admittedly had never heard this until yesterday.
Oh, really?
I don't think that I was at all aware of rainbow parties, if I'm being completely honest, until this got sent over.
It's wild because I'm pretty sure, like, I sort of was doing my own research too on it, and it's wild because I'm pretty sure the point at which I heard about it predates even like the official introduction of this into like the written word of God.
Oh,
like,
you were early on it.
Yeah. It was just like one of those things, like, Marilyn Manson had a rib removed to suck his own dick, or you know what I mean? Or like Lil' Kim had to get her stomach pumped because she was giving so much head. It was sort of like in that sort of school of just shit people would say, but no one had proof for. But because you're ignorant and young and a virgin, you're like, absolutely.
I think you mean the general topics for this podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
All of our regular subject matter.
Yes. But the stomach pump thing was always like someone they would map on a different person, like at the time. Because then they were like Lindsay Lohan.
I heard it with local girls. One time in high school, they said that this girl, who was, in fact, was sucking a lot of dick, they said that she had to get her stomach pumped.
Oh, yeah.
I think when you talk to white people, it's a very different person than Lil' Kim. I can't remember who their person is.
Oh, I wonder who it would be if it was not Lil' Kim.
It's like Madonna or some shit, or like
that's not
something.
nearly as fun.
Yeah, like Nancy Reagan or some shit.
Yeah.
You're like, I
wish. Oh, that's right. Justin's right. He said, I think white people think it's Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart was sucking dicks?
Is the white people version of sucking dicks until he had to get his stomach pumped. And I don't even know if Rod Stewart was sucking dicks. I think they were just calling him very, very gay.
Right. He's like, you seen that hair?
Yeah.
It's feathered.
That's the Maggie May guy, right?
Yeah.
I know him from
yeah, that guy loved pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, but
that's why that shit is so fucking slanderous, you know?
Right,
like, him?
Yeah,
like,
come on, no,
him exactly.
Not noted pussy enthusiast Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart,
he could never.
You're upending my world right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's interesting though too, because I think whether you either probably heard it as like a local myth, or I think the thing that really mainstreamed it was like once it got on TV and shit, and then became like this gigantic like moral panic. Especially, I think maybe it might have happened because I was going to like Christian and Catholic school when I was younger, and it feels like that's kind of like the world in which those kinds of like moral sexual panic kind of conspiracy theories like really take hold.
Yeah.
It's just to time it out. Are we saying, because for me, in my mind, this is like a turn of the century.
Yeah. I graduated
99, 2000, 2001 time period.
I graduated high school 2003.
Okay.
And I would say this is around, I feel like I don't want to put it all on 9/11, but I feel like it was around 9/11 that I first started hearing it, like my sophomore or junior-ish year.
No, this is how the terrorists won. This is
misdirection.
Yeah, they were like, we'll knock down the towers and they'll get us back for that, but they'll never get us back for what we do to their girls.
To the rainbow parties.
I mean, now that we're just openly discussing, here's my question about it always was like, so afterwards, you're at a party where all these girls are sucking dick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you show everybody your dick to prove that it got sucked by all these. That was the reason everybody came to the party.
Well, I guess that's a question I have immediately is the expectation that I show my dick afterwards, or is the expectation that I just go home with a cool goodie bag of rainbow dick?
Or like a rainbow sticker somebody puts on your sweatshirt.
Yeah,
you win, sir.
I didn't know I had to like verify it with the boys to feel accomplished.
Okay, maybe I'm a weirdo. I play team sports.
I think that's what makes it kind of fall apart, because when you really think about it too, like even the idea that it would like leave a rainbow, you're like, I'm sorry, what technique is being used during the fellatio that like, are you just going like stamping rings around it?
I think you mean tie-dye.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking Grateful Dead t-shirt more than anything than
also,
a rainbow.
I'm going to say it. I think this is a little racist.
Say more.
My dick is probably only going to reflect maybe the reds.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? It's not going to look like that. It's going to look like mud.
And
Or
a
like
mud
when you-
party sounds way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah. You don't want a
You
mud
don't want
party.
to go to no mud party.
Maybe we should start that one. Yeah, get that
Right.
one out there. Like, y'all been to a mud party?
Or like the color when you mix all the sodas, the graveyard or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
swamp water?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
gonna look like a rainbow.
No. It'll end up being, I think at the end of the day, with all of the colors of the spectrum there, it'll net out to some kind of brownish green, I feel like.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna make your penis look pretty.
But
awful.
again, that's not the important part, because I think it was just merely I think for young boys, kids in high school, it was like the idea that there were so many willing participants in like sexual activity was like everything else be damned. You're like, I don't know, man. I'm not going to show anybody my dick. I don't even shower in front of y'all.
Yeah. I was just going to say, these poor women have to come to the party. Not only do they have to suck 10 eager dicks, they also have to keep putting on their makeup.
Oh, right.
It's a lot of labor involved.
What do they get from the rainbow party?
Hey, you know what? And I'm not trying to think that far ahead, David, because I just want to know that there is such a thing. And please don't make me examine it any further, because it starts falling apart.
True.
I would encourage us not to underestimate the camaraderie you probably build
Right.
by sucking that many of the same dicks with your dearest friends. There's probably a bond that'll never be broken when you share that kind of closeness with a person.
Absolutely.
Almost like a sisterhood of the traveling pants.
Yes. Almost like a D-Day landing, but a different kind of D. Yeah.
It's the same. I've never experienced it, but like the same as like dudes who run trains together.
I think so.
I love my cousin.
Yeah.
And you're like,
you're like, no, he's a good dude. And you're like, nah,
I don't know.
It was crazy. You guys are doing that anyway.
Yeah. Let's don't admit that so openly, man.
Seems like maybe you just did a bad thing and now you're bonded for the wrong reason.
For your
you both have something you don't want to bring up to grandma at Thanksgiving.
No.
I will say that when you initiated this conversation about the rainbow parties, while it was my first time hearing it, you also sent over a correlating Reddit thread that featured an Oprah episode.
Yeah.
Where Oprah addresses this rumor. And this is a first for our podcast, I would say, because Oprah comes up on this podcast a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of supposed episodes of Oprah where these conspiracies are often born.
Yeah.
And this is the first time where the episode actually exists, where we have real evidence of this episode. And what I would love to do is maybe watch that clip together and we can pause and talk shit in between as the whole thing is going.
Yeah. Like the whole segment is wild, because it's not just, it's like this, I don't know, panic monger woman comes on to be like, let me go through some phrases and tell me if you've heard of these.
No, she gives us a lot to work with here.
Yeah.
So let's watch it.
Everybody has another life that your parent.
Wait, 1 second.
It's not, you know.
1 second before we even get in. Are they also? You guys need to know that it says toss salad and rainbow party discussion.
Yes,
I think that's important to note.
Yes, no, I mean, that's it. Just watching this whole shit unfold in front of the audience is fucking wild. Because I think it's from like 2005 or some shit.
It is truly, I used to think that these audiences were completely casted and like, who are these women that would want this? But then you see their reactions and they genuinely are hearing about tossing salad for the first time. And
they're like, come on, you didn't watch Chris Rock before? You didn't see him stand up before this? Like, we were up on that already.
So crazy to see.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Anyways,
onward with the educational video.
You know, having, sex after school. Right. But everybody has another life. You know, the way your friends know you is not the way your parents know you. Right. Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say, let's talk about that secret language, Michelle.
Yes.
His secret language is so funny to me.
Also, Oprah acts like she's not fucking. I hate that.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Right.
I don't like that at all. Like, you weren't ever a horny teenager. You got to be an adult about that.
But more of this, like, you've had Stedman as a side piece for 40 years. You
Possibly
telling me
a beard.
Yeah,
Right.
you telling me this motherfucker ain't never had to do something weird to you to keep the side house going? You don't
make him film you and Gail sometimes.
Yeah,
just watch her face. I think it's important. Maybe we watch her face as these things are explained to see if she like feigns ignorance or like surprise. You know what
Very
I mean?
good idea.
Or she's like, Yeah. Like, wait, hold on, Oprah. All right, here we go.
I didn't know any of this.
I've gotten a
Lies.
whole new vocabulary. Let me tell you. Salad tossing, I'm thinking cucumbers, lettuce, tomatoes. Okay,
so what is a salad toss?
Okay, a tossed salad is, get ready, hold on to your underwear for this one, oral
Okay, let's
sex.
just pause right there.
This is the best day of my life.
Because she tells us to hold on to our underwear, which isn't a common phrase.
I'm not familiar with this idiom. Yeah.
It certainly it rings of other phrases that are more, you know what I mean, that are correct.
Yeah.
But she goes, hold on. You're going to want to hold on to your underwear for this one. And I thought the audience would laugh at her saying that, but they did. They, in fact, held their underwear.
Yeah.
And then she tells them what salad. Well, I won't beat it.
It's because she knows they're about to burst out of them because they're so excited hearing them talk about tossed salad on NBC.
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
And Oprah is lying. She does the hand thing. She's lying.
She said, I've never heard of any of these.
Okay.
A tossed salad is, get ready, hold on to your underwear for this one, oral anal sex. So oral sex to the anus is what really tossed salad is. Hey, Mom. Okay. A rainbow party is.
Okay, so maybe just not one of this woman's show.
This is the worst day of her life.
It looks like I would believe if like the reverse angle of this was like Oprah like ripping a puppy in half like with her bare hands. Her look of shock and disgust, like
this white lady. This white lady's like, I came here to try to get a new car. What the fuck is this?
When do we reach under our seat?
Yeah.
And is there an anus under there? This is horrible.
I wanted a Pontiac Sunfire. This is not what I came for.
Oprah, who is this woman?
Nasty. Please, why is she making up such horrible things?
Yeah, why would Kelly Price do this stuff?
And now she moves into, I guess, the part where what we all came to hear is the rainbow party.
It's coming, baby.
Break down rainbow party for us.
Tossed salad is. Hi, Mom. Okay.
Said hi, Mom.
A rainbow party is an oral sex party. It's a gathering where oral sex is performed, and rainbow comes from all of the girls
Hold
put
on.
lips.
Lots of gatherings oral sex is performed. I don't.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, you mean it's a high school reunion? It's a barbecue in the park if you're lucky. It's game night if you got too drunk.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly in high school used to think that parties were trash if oral sex didn't happen.
That was why you fucking went. You think I want to dance to Tipsy by Jaquan again?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good song. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the chicken head,
I wasn't even always getting it. But I at least wanted to know it was like part of the experience. It was like, oh, pussy was being had. This was a good time. This was wild.
True.
That was always the promise you were hoping for. It's like, and it'll be women that are down.
Yeah,
I got my best Rockaware on.
Yeah, exactly. I got a new velour jumpsuit and I got a crispy new Jordan headband.
The Echo Unlimited Rhino I have on my shirt matches the one on my pants. So.
Exactly. Oh, yes, you're right. These are academics jeans. Thank you so much.
I'm somewhat of a scholar.
You can tell by the different leather alphabet patches on my leg.
Also, the Burn Talib Kweli CD in my compact disc player.
Right. It's like, how come there's a voice that says promo at the beginning of the blast? It's like, don't worry about it. All right. Just enjoy it. This shit go hard.
Yeah. It's just exclusive.
Yeah, baby girl. I downloaded it on BearShare, so it's pretty legit.
Exactly. Oh, you didn't know about that? Oh, you still on Kazaa?
You'll catch up one day, sweetheart. Yeah. Now, what about that mouth?
Now, what that rainbow do?
I'm trying to get a green.
I'm trying to catch them all, if you know what I mean. You a Pokemon fan, right? Okay.
I can go
my dick.
All right. You want to continue with this?
This is amazing.
All right, here we go.
Rainbow comes from all of the girls put on lipstick, and each one puts her mouth around the penis of the gentleman or gentlemen who are there to receive favors and makes a mark in a different.
This woman looked like she's looking at the 2008 election results coming in.
Also,
oh hell no.
Also,
Not
once
like-
again, why are you acting like you don't know what a blowjob is? You're acting real brand new on Oprah right now.
Her hair literally looks like a man got some head and then did like this afterwards.
Yeah,
Like,
she looks
that's
like
not-
she just got done.
she's not a hero. She's a
Or she's like putting it
nasty like the
together.
rest
She's like,
of us.
my husband had a rainbow.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Frank!
Fucker, not you.
I thought he had a mud party.
place on the penis, hence the term rainbow. So,
Okay, and so what does pretty boy mean?
a pretty boy is
Oh,
a
now, so they-
sexually active
Oprah's-
boy, someone who's
Now they go on. What's a pretty boy?
Also,
Yeah.
Oprah's turned up. You see that touch to the
Yeah.
neck right here?
Yeah, right.
That's tuned up.
Yeah, she had to
they
feel
go
that
into-
carotid artery real quick. She's like, the blood is flowing. Right?
Yeah,
They-
I gotta
They
check
go
my
into a
pulse.
bunch of other examples, many of which are not even sexual in nature. They're just sort of like applying them to weird sexual things. But
Yeah, like kid slang. Yeah.
yeah, it's just kids slang that
They're
they're
like
not.
booty call. And
Yeah.
then that's when Oprah's like, we all know what that is, right?
Yeah, that one we know.
Fuck around and make a booty
Stedman,
call.
it's time.
Yeah.
Come into the big house, Stedman.
I'll leave the door unlocked this time.
On a more serious note, I feel like every generation does this, and I hate it. It's like you're demonizing sex like you don't understand that it feels good.
Right.
Like you're making it sound like it's such a crazy thing to lick somebody's booty when it just feels good.
It feels nice.
It feels, you know what I'm saying? Like I hate that because it's like you're giving a weight to sex that kids are gonna have to grow up and figure out how to navigate.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right.
it's an awful little game that they're playing as adults to be manipulating kids in this way as it relates to sex. It is fascinating how many of them you can tell were also manipulated, were also sort of led to be that scared of the thing that they have to have this reaction at the sound of sex, period, much less sex from young people.
Right. And there's always has to be some like new deviation from like the quote unquote norm. It's like they just they don't even give head anymore. They put the lipstick on and they're making fucking, Mark Rothko paintings on their dicks and shit. What the fuck is going on? And I think that's like it's all
Jackson Podick, I think, is what you were going for.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that we post this podcast together. I'm thankful for you and your contribution.
But like, and it's always like part of some like, conservative backsliding societally too, where you got to create some moral panic out of just whatever is happening to be like, and that's what's all going wrong right now.
Yeah.
Which
absolutely.
is crazy because ultimately this is a pretty safe scenario.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting pregnant.
Exactly. Well, and they also say that too, like in this Oprah clip, it's like, they don't consider it sex. They consider it outer course, not inner course. And I'm like,
and everybody gasped at the idea that getting head is different than getting pussy. And
right. It's like, I went to a Catholic school. I know people were talking about anal sex because they're like, I think that's cool. As long as it's not in the vagina, then you can still be a virgin. And you're like, okay.
Dudes were talking about that too, huh? I didn't go to Catholic school, so I'm curious. Dudes talk about that as well.
I mean, like, I think I was like, I wasn't Catholic, so I like the kids that were, I was just there because it was the cheapest private school in my area. And they're like, I don't know, man, I got to hear about them.
I like pussy.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, look, bro. And these ghost stories they're telling y'all every day, they're cool and all, but like, I don't know if this dude really did all this shit. But anyway, that's just, that's do you.
That's so funny.
But like, I feel like the kids who are like, had that real Catholic guilt, like those were sort of like the hacks. And you see that like with Mormons, you know what I mean? That's why they be floating and shit and soaking or whatever the fuck call it.
So
the hacks that they got to get around the Bible. Because in the end of the day, people just want to feel good.
It feels good putting your dick in stuff.
Putting your dick in stuff feels good.
Getting dicks in stuff feels good.
Yeah, we saw American Pie.
I bet it does. And I root for all of us to get what feels good. We need to take a break, I think. We've been going for a while, but when we come back, we're going to keep talking about more rainbow parties. And more specifically, we're going to get into some of this research, which I'm excited to get into with you guys. I think it's going to be an exciting time talking about this more. So we'll be back in a moment with more Miles Gray and more My Momma Told Me.
We are back. We are discussing rainbow parties, tossed salad, and everything in between.
I will say that eating ass in high school felt crazy.
I want to say shout out, man. I don't know if he was. Shout out to Lamar. He's this dude who went to the Air Force early. Like, you remember how kids could get their parents to let them go to the Air Force early?
Yeah.
He went to the Air Force early, and he came back, and he told us all about eating ass, and we were like, this guy's crazy.
If you would have told me.
It came up all the time. We were like, you know that nigga Lamar is eating. And he was like, I love it. He's the first dude. And he was like, I love getting my ass ate. And I was like, heretic! Like, I did not like it. I didn't like it.
Burn him.
Witch!
Yeah, doing the fucking gladiator thumbs down.
And I had assumed it was because he went to Asia. With the Air Force. I was like, he's been all over the world doing nasty shit.
Right.
Yeah. He went to the Western Pacific. Yeah.
And he was eating bad bitches. And like, I would meet his girl, and I would be like, you just letting this man. So I was one of those prudes, is what I'm saying.
No, I truly would have thought you were a psychopath if you would have told me you were eating ass in high school. But I also remember, and we're all of a similar age, it wasn't really even that cool to say you ate pussy when we were kids.
Not like that. It wasn't cool to love it.
No, not at all.
It was really weird if you were like,
for.
That's what I do is eat pussy. We would all been like, nigga, what?
Yeah. Till I realized like the power of that, and they're like, they actually they fuck with it if
they love it.
Yeah.
Like, it actually is a cheat code.
Let me be clear, I'm a big advocate now. I just was a boy back then.
No, of course, yeah, because everything you're taught such a like toxic version of masculinity where it's like, yo, you get it done to you. Don't do shit.
Yeah.
Don't put your mouth nowhere.
What a crazy way to have sex.
I know, exactly.
Just fully one-sided.
Yeah. I want to be like Dracula in a coffin.
Yeah.
That's my energy when I have sex.
She's supposed to have no fun.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I don't know what your plan is, but I ain't doing nothing good enough to skip steps. You know what I mean? I gotta.
Yeah. Andre told us all the time, but we did not listen.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I didn't know what he was talking. I was just like, this nigga was science. Like, I didn't even think about that.
That's true.
What's a cultural simulation?
He was telling us to eat pussy, but he was also being like, be a vegan and take your shoes off. And we were like, I don't know, man. You got a lot.
All this is impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep wearing those overalls, bro.
I get it. You're like going through something, but no. I'm going to let that dust settle before I start emulating
You've
this.
been hexed by Erykah Badu. I understand.
Yeah.
Right. I remember I seen the Stankonia tour when they were touring that album. The whole stage was a giant vulva. And I remember being confused as hell. Like, why would they do that, bro? Just be like, the fuck is wrong with them, man?
These guys are fucking weird, man.
The vagina, bro, what y'all trying to say about your shit? But that's what a 17-year-old brain does looking at that. I'm like, I don't know what they're trying to say, bro. They're pussy? I don't know, bro.
We really grew up in an era where it was not okay to just be like, I love pussy.
Yeah.
No.
Like the actual thing, you couldn't just be like, I just love that thing. I want.
No, you could love getting pussy, but you could not actually
I appreciate. Yeah, no, none of that. What are you, an artist, bro?
Yeah,
no.
get the fuck out of here.
All right, George O'Keefe ass.
You a loser.
Yeah.
Damn, we were lame, man. This is so sad.
I know. So I salute the kids, man, for being so much more open and worldly than like.
It's truly what makes me hate like my father's generation of men, that they can't look back and go, bro, we were sad.
Yeah, that was
if you can't look at that and go, man, fuck, that was lame.
Oh yeah,
I'm okay now. I'm good. Then you're a fucking loser, man.
Yeah,
you're so lame. And my dad, I don't say my father's generation to suggest my dad isn't that, but more just that there's the baby boomer era of men just suck.
Right. Yeah.
They fucking suck. None of them will just be like, man, we were losers. I get it now.
Would they ever say something like on a podcast, like, like, I think we were contributing to rape culture?
Yeah.
And that's terrible. And I have a lot of regrets about something like that. I mean, like, I think that's just like an intellectual bridge a lot of people don't cross a lot of the time. They don't want to have that.
Even if you want to take some of the weighted language off of it, because I get it, like you start to use like the sort of like liberal young person verbiage and you start to feel less yourself. I understand that instinct, but just we hated women. We were mean to fucking women is a simple enough breakdown of like, damn, I think I hated women. Well, I'm better now is such an easy revelation to be had.
Right. We just did it.
We did it.
And said, damn, I fucking hate myself.
That was corny.
Yeah, because I was corny.
Yeah, I was, I reduced like the whole idea of like a woman to like this flattened sort of like concept of like a game where it's like, can I unlock sex? And like
no type of dynamics in their personalities or
no.
You know what I realized as I got older? I never thought I would think of a man's perspective. I never sat and thought like, so what are women supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What's her life supposed to be?
Right.
She's just supposed to be
around?
Okay with me you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like a difficult thing to look at,
Right.
No, it's so easy to look at, and these motherfuckers who can't are losers. And ladies, if you're with somebody who hasn't yet admitted that he used to be real fucking lame about the way he treated you, then he might be a bad guy, baby girl. I don't know.
Maybe he was progressive. There were guys. Shout out to all the Lamars out there.
Yeah.
There were guys early who had to go to Korea or wherever he went. To
it's like it's the other people I was enlisted with.
Came back different.
Yeah.
Well, I did a little bit of research on the subject of rainbow parties, and while the Oprah clip is sort of when it becomes most popular, Miles, I think you know this too. According to Wikipedia, there's a Christian pediatrician who first wrote about the subject in 2002. Her book, Epidemic: How Teen Sex is Killing Our Kids, basically creates all these allegations of adolescents suffering from cancer, suffering from sterility, acute infections, and unwanted pregnancies as a consequence of starting sexual activity too early in life. So she writes this book in 2002, basically being like, your kids are dying because they're too goddamn horny. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do.
You'll never believe the kind of shit she's talking about now. If this is where she started fucking 18 years ago, 15 years ago, you can't. I'll give you one guess what website she's regularly publishing to now. The fucking Daily Wire, bro. She's on that shit. Ben Shapiro's like health expert now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Famed pussy enthusiast Ben Shapiro.
It's wet? No. It's wet. Something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong.
Something wrong.
I'm sorry.
No. If there's that kind of moisture, you should absolutely consult a medical professional because that something is definitely wrong. Some kind of disorder.
There's a quote from the book, which this woman claims was relayed to her by a 14-year-old girl in Michigan. She says, Allison had heard some kids were going to have a rainbow party, but had no idea what that meant. Still, she thought it might be fun and arranged to attend with a friend. After she arrived, several girls, all in the 8th grade, were given different shades of lipstick and told to perform oral sex on different boys to give them quote-unquote rainbows. Once she realized what was happening, Allison was too stunned and frightened to do anything. When a girl gave her some lipstick, she refused at first, but with repeated pressure, finally gave in. It was one of the grossest things I've ever done.
Oh, my God. It always starts off that way. It's like, I heard some kids. I heard about it. And this is like the thing when you start
also,
like
what are you doing talking to little girls about sucking dicks? Get a real job. How about that?
That's a really big sort of flag inside of a lot of what I discovered here, is that it's a lot of adults talking to children, quote unquote children, about their sexual activity and then relaying it to each other.
Right.
And it's fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, and also like from people who are so like on the abstinence side of the spectrum too, like a Christian pediatrician, like I can't even fathom a conversation where she's like, and tell me about like the wildest sex shit you ever done. You know
what did you do to coax this out of this girl?
Yeah. Like it feels, this is why like, again, like my theory with how this started, it sounds like a lie a boy told.
It,
you know what I mean? And then from there, it
very
takes
cool
off.
lie, by the way.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because it has everything. It has everything.
In the grand scheme of like, if I'm just gonna make up some bullshit for my friends and community to enjoy, it's a very funny, very cool lie. Kudos to that young man.
Exactly.
If I'm gonna lie on my dick, man, let it be wearing a Technicolor dream coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because so many women sucked it. That it changed into all the colors. It Captain Planet it into fucking the perfect penis.
My shit gets sucked so much they have to make a game out of it.
Yeah. And they have to verify who did it according to this color chart.
Like, and we have invitations and RSVPs to my shit.
And it's a party.
My dick gets sucked so much, it looks like a twister board. Bitches start crawling on it and putting their hands and feet in different places.
Yeah. Left lip green, bitch.
Yeah, so that happened.
How was your summer?
And that definitely happened. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Like, y'all got to hear about these rainbow parties. And like, it also, too, because that was a funny thing. I remember asking, like, you know, when you're in high school, like you're with all your friends, like a nutrition period or whatever, and someone's bringing it up. And I remember all the girls are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, all the girls I knew were like, that is disgusting. I would never y'all are fucking disgusting. I don't fuck with any of y'all like that. I don't fuck with anybody enough, not even my own friends, to be like, girl, we better go hit the Mac counter and get all these different shades of lipstick because we're doing a rainbow party tonight. Like, that is such a weird, it's like a concept of a woman that is created in a man's fantasy world. And you need something like this to sort of like get yourself through your, you know, incel sort of life to be like,
that was the part that even in the story that the girl is telling feels so false, where she had never heard of the rainbow parties, was not invited to the rainbow parties, but somehow is able to just show up as a +1 with a different friend. And it's like, nah, dog, if you were at a rainbow party, I bet there were a lot of very consenting people in that room. Everybody knew why they were there, and everybody that was there was ready to be there. There wasn't maybe I'll check it out and see what happens type shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny too, like you talk about like people talk like even the idea of bringing up this like myth with your kids. There's this other clip that I found. It's from some show called Mom Logic, and for whatever reason, I clocked Shaunie O'Neal, Shaq's ex-wife, as one of the 3 moms talking. But again, it's like a short clip where it's doing the same thing where it's like, have you heard of this fake thing? And then they're all like, oh no, what's going on with our kids?
Yeah.
Have you talked to you about rainbow parties?
Oh, what's a rainbow party?
I'm sorry to tell you, you do need to know what a rainbow party is. It's not happy little elves and fairies. It's starting in junior high. and they're very popular now. They're oral sex parties.
Oh my
in
God.
which each girl is given a different color lipstick, and the boys go around and receive oral sex from all the girls with a different lipstick. So then they end up with rings of lipstick around their penis, and the guy with the most rainbow colors on his penis wins.
No.
Whatever he wins, I don't know. I guess he wins a lot of oral sex that night.
That's shocking.
But that's...
Can I say, and allow me to put my conspiracy theory hat on.
Please.
I'm steepling for the people at home.
Please.
These two white ladies are into it, right?
Oh.
There's an undercurrent of excitement that these two women, right? Shaunie O'Neal is not into it.
Yeah,
these two white ladies. You see that white lady? Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Ow, let me find out.
Is that not the tone? Maybe I'm misreading the tone.
It's cheeky. It's definitely, there's a cheekiness.
I felt
to it
much more from the devil in this bluish green than I did from the other lady. Well,
right.
Very different than the Oprah clip. I felt like those women were reacting very genuinely and honestly to having heard about this for the first time. This feels very much like they talked about ahead of time. We're going to talk about rainbow parties, and you're going to have to pretend to be surprised when I say it.
Right.
This feels very planned and plotted to me.
Yeah, I think maybe it's her charisma as like whoever this like Dr. Shannon Fox woman is who's doing the talking. Like she's trying to be all like, have y'all heard? Because I know what you mean, David. It feels like the momentum of what she's saying is eventually going to end with it's like, and that's what we're doing tonight, girls.
Doesn't it feel like tonally? Shaunie clearly not into it. I will say that. She does not like it.
She had, that felt like the authentic disgust of like a person like, the fuck are y'all talking? What?
Yeah,
No.
she thinks it's nasty.
Disgusting.
The other two...
but yeah, look, we'll hear from Shaunie. I think she says something right after this.
Very common, and especially now, a lot of people are involved in like abstinence only movements, which I'm a fan of abstinence in high school, I have to say, but they're not taught that oral sex is at least as intimate as intercourse. And
I remember in high school where girls wouldn't admit that they were even doing the oral. That was nasty.
Why it's like, you didn't.
Wow.
The good old days.
You were like
nasty.
a super freak if you did that. You know what I mean? It was a nasty
Shaunie.
thing.
She loves it. Come on. She loves it. Also, what is the issue here? Intimacy? That's what she's stating?
Well,
the thing that they're trying to keep kids away from intimacy?
Yeah. I think certainly they are using they're using weird language. You know what I mean? Where we're really making this about like a broad sweeping sexual problem and less about like, if we're concerned about rainbow parties, just make it about rainbow parties. Just be like, I don't want my daughter sucking 10 dicks in a night, and certainly not 10 dicks that 10 other ladies sucked, whatever. But don't make it about like sex in general. That seems
that's
like
why I think that's why this specific theory it's really just built for like moral panic. It's really not about to like drill down on what the thing is. It's just to be like, oh, here's the talking point of the day, to be like, and look at all these kids, they're nasty. This is the problem with what's happening. And it's not necessarily about like, do we need to be educating kids more about sex or other things like that? It's like, they're so nasty, y'all.
Right.
Would it be me? I remember the good old days when you were bullied into a mental health crisis for admitting you were doing anything remotely intimate with somebody.
Yeah, it's like, what is the nostalgia you're reaching for? That we want our kids to sit around a table repressed, talking to each other about a future that never was. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and there's just definitely more of an emphasis on like the girls involved than like the guys involved too, because then like all of these things usually are like go hand in hand, like with trying to just be like, and this is why people need less control over their bodies, because if you let them, they're doing shit like this.
Besides the Oprah clip, there's like a history of other times that rainbow parties have come up in various forms of media. There's a 2005 book written by a dude named Paul Ruditis called Rainbow Party that's about that subject. Somehow he wrote an entire book about it. this adult man. There's a 2010 episode of The Doctors about rainbow parties. There's a 2015 Law and Order episode about a measles outbreak brought on by Rainbow Party. And there's a 15-minute Icelandic short film called Rainbow Party about this very subject.
I mean, can I say shout out to Law and Order? That's the only negative consequence I've heard in all these things. It's like measles. Okay, you don't want to get measles. That's like that makes sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else is, they're not even talking about like STDs or these kids. It's literally just sucking dicks.
Yeah, no, the fear is the sexuality itself, not the consequences of it in this case. And that's
right. Yeah.
That's very telling.
Yeah. And I mean, like, again, it falls apart when you just start asking questions about, like, is everybody showing each other? Like, how do these come together?
Right.
Whose house
Where
is
are
it
all
at?
the dudes?
Right. Yeah.
Why are you only talking to women who participate? You don't think there's dudes chopping at the bit to tell somebody?
Right. And and no one can, like, no one's even wild enough to lie about it. Like, you're like, yeah, I went to a rainbow party. Like, no, you fucking didn't. They're like, no, you're right. You're right. I didn't go. But I know somebody at a public school that did. And you're like, oh, yeah. Okay. Keep going.
So, Miles, you've used this term already, but experts, despite all of the appearances of this in public conversations and media and shit, the experts say that this is completely fabricated, that there are no rainbow parties. And certainly if there were, it was like one that probably went terribly wrong and no one ever did again. But there is no evidence to substantiate these claims that there are rainbow parties, much less rampant ones amongst 8th graders and shit.
Right. Yeah. There's just something that horny kids had to keep the memory alive in their minds, basically, which I don't know. I guess is more of a commentary on horniness than anything.
Yeah, and sort of the despising of horniness, I would say.
Right. Yeah.
The hatred of your own horny.
Mm-hmm.
The hatred of your
own
horny.
Don't hate the horn.
Come on, hate the game.
Yeah.
Now, you use the term moral panic, which they basically say is a threat of a person or persons leading to the corruption of societal values and institutions. So this moral panic was coined by this guy named Stanley Cohen, who says moral panic is a condition, episode, person, or group of persons who emerges to become defined as a threat to societal values and interests. And while this issue is identified and could be real, the issue, he claims that the exaggerated seriousness, extent, and typicality and or inevitability of the harm is exaggerated.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're always there's always some kind of moral panic happening, around, especially right now, whether it's like, people are like, kids are going to fucking the bathroom in a sandbox, like cat litter box. Like, no, they're fucking not.
Been there, done that.
Have you? Yeah. Man, like, no, nobody's going, or like, just even like with like human trafficking, like how, we've got like these weird ass movies that like are these depictions of like a kind of human trafficking, like that does not exist, but is meant there to sort of keep this sort of, fear in our society to be able to then introduce like other laws that are more restrictive. And it's just kind of, they're part and parcel of like, how our society becomes like more progressive or liberal, and then how it becomes more conservative. And like, we're just in one of those eras again, I think, right now.
Yeah. But here's what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
We will take a break. We're going to take one more break. As demanded by Justin, he screams at us. He says, "Take 2 breaks, you stupid
God
fucks.
Damn it.
I'm so goddamn tired of having to make up breaks because you don't shut the fuck up for a minute and throw to a commercial." So we're going to throw to a commercial, and we'll be back with more Miles Gray and more My Momma Told Me.
And we are back to wrap up our discussion on rainbow parties. Rainbow parties, do they work? Will they work?
Do they work?
If they work.
Should we throw one?
I think they work. Look.
Well, here's one thing that there would be adult rainbow parties if they work.
Right.
That's true.
There would be rainbow party pornos. There would be rainbow party porn parodies. Like, this would all be, you know what I mean? It would have gotten into practice if it was a viable thing.
I also think, not for nothing, that's the issue with the Imagineers over in porn. Is like, y'all got to start getting into conspiracy theory porn more than just doing stuff that already exists.
Sounds like somebody's horny.
Like, stop just remaking the things that exist and start imagining a future sex for us. Right? Like, I don't need more stepson shit. I need you to imagine what other family members no one has ever thought to fuck. You know what I mean? Like, really?
This is a crazy take.
Yeah, give us an example. Langston.
Yeah, I was with you until that last part.
I'm not saying that specifically. I'm merely talking through the emotionality I'm seeking.
Yeah,
I want them to truly prove themselves as artists.
Well, there used to be those porn videos that Bang Bros made that were like, it would be like a stripper and everybody's giving them head, like at a bachelorette party.
Yes, yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? But that wasn't that wasn't like a rainbow party. They're just like, it was just kind of group oral sex video. You know what I mean?
Also, if you look into it, not a career option.
No.
Yeah. Also, usually kind of like those are like those videos. There was such a genre of video that were like just fake stuff. Like there would be those ones like college parties where people were just having sex in the middle of the college party. Yeah. I remember I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, so that's where all that shit is shot. And I remember I had a friend who I was in marching band with, this like nerdy dude. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, bro, I'm working with this porn company, and we're about to throw one of them college fuck parties, if you want to come through or whatever."
What?
I'm like, whoa, what, bro? I'm like, I mean, I'm not a performer. He's like, nah, man. He's like, no, it's actual porno people. He's like, you just got to like make it look like a house party. And I remember I was like, all right, say less. And I told my friends, like, yo, we're about to go see one of these things happen. It was the most fucking uncomfortable situation I'd ever been in my life.
So you're in a porno.
Oh, I was nowhere near like the inner circle to be like captured on video. Cause like once I saw how it was set up, I'm like, bro, let's just smoke weed outside and get the fuck out of here. Like,
wait, how was it set up?
It was basically like, it was at this house in Northridge, and it like from the outside, it looked like just a wild Halloween party. Like all these people were going in and out in costumes. And then like off the like main living room, there was like another sort of smaller family room, like den kind of thing. And that's where they were having sex, like on video. And so like the real wild ass people who wanted to be up in it were like in that, like they packed that room out. And then so like, so it was a smaller place. So in the background, you just saw all these bodies moving around as if like, yeah, man, this is just normally happening at this party. And they had like kegs and shit. But by the end of it, like most people were like, what the fuck? And also, like every like woman that was there was like, what the fuck am I at right now? Like
but that's
dude
what
told
I'm
me we're
saying.
going to a costume party, and I was like, yeah.
That's my point about the rainbow parties. Is there's no fucking way that the motherfuckers that make it into that room go, well, I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Right?
Bitch, yes, you did. Because everybody who was reasonable went outside to smoke and was rolling their eyes when they walked in. They were like, nah, this is the devil's work. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna participate in this. I think it's great. I'm happy they're doing it, but I'm not fucking about to go into the wildest room that's ever existed.
Right. I'm like, am I built for that? I mean, even as like a kid, I would have been so humiliated. I'm like, I can't get naked in front of no other people, man.
Oh, I would not have fucked.
I would have been like, I gotta go.
No.
Like even if there was, I feel like even if 17-year-old me, 16-year-old me, whatever, was at the like the fucking threshold to enter a rainbow party, I would be like, nah, I got my calf hurts, man. Yeah. And I don't want to tear it if I have an
I actually
orgasm.
had a rainbow party about 3 days ago.
Yeah.
They say it's not good to double up.
I actually did 2 rainbows earlier, so I'm good, man. Yeah. And I also took like 3 ecstasies before I got here, so I'm kind of messed up.
I actually gave up rainbow parties for Lent, so I'm trying to cleanse myself, but I'll be back on my rainbow shit. The last little thing that I'll throw your way, and you were starting to bring this up before we went to break, is that this moral panic is actually a condition we've seen throughout history, specifically around things like the Red Scare of the 40s and 50s, the devil's music relating to blues and jazz, rock and roll, hip hop, all the switchblades apparently in the 50s were this terrifying thing that everybody was morally panicking about.
They were right about that one. That shit is scary.
Yeah, it's scary, but they were like, every kid has a switchblade and they're all stabbing each other and shit.
Right. Dungeons and Dragons. They were even against
Dungeons and Dragons was apparently one.
I thought the nerds were gonna learn magic and get it.
Just Satan. It was satanic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like satanic shit.
Yeah. And you get those every now and then too, the satanic panic.
The AIDS epidemic is another one, and video games, and of course, my personal favorite, the war on drugs. All examples.
Do you guys feel like, I know this is a tone change at the end, I just have always been curious about this. Do you feel like our age, we got AIDS the worst? Like, we were the ones, we got AIDS from the time we were little kids.
Right.
Like, other people kind of found it as an adult, so they were already kind of into their ways. We were like taught to be scared of sex, or not scared, whatever, from a very
the potential
young age.
for
like the runway to AIDS for us was really long.
Yeah, I will say I think we got the worst sex education of all the generations. Like we got all the fear after the worst version of what could happen to you was fully activated, and adults had gotten all their rocks off, so they weren't like sex positive anymore. They were like, nah, I'm washed and you will be too.
I feel like we were the generation we're the only ones who gave condoms a real shot.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Really tried.
Like everybody else was like, I'm fucking 28 years old. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
Goddamn,
I'm not in the military.
Yeah. We were 16. Like, I got these condoms.
Gay?
Cool.
Right. And we're like, no, but everything that can happen. I remember, it's just shit. Because that whole thing, right? Like, I was born in '84, so I remember going to the AIDS walk in like 1990. Like as a 6-year-old, and they were handing out condoms and shit. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? My dad's like, yeah, man, like, cause this is how you can, this is safe sex. It's about safe sex. And even like TLC, you know what I mean? Like
that Salt and Pepper song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody, like condoms were just sort of like part of the aesthetic. And like everyone knew that like the risk involved was potentially death. And then I remember fucking Philadelphia coming out and I'm like, what happened to Tom Hanks?
had a condom as an eye patch.
Yeah.
That was our culture.
And you know what nobody said? T-Baw's Left Eye or Chili? Nobody was like, hey, these kind of suck. Nobody ever was like, hey, it does not feel as good. Nobody ever, I just wish somebody would have said it. Nobody said it.
Right. And like
nobody said it to us.
Because it was, and I think that's what sort of made it even more effective, because it was dealing with something that was very real and very serious. But I think when you have a child's sort of idea with like not knowing anything about sex, and your sort of immediate association is like, I could potentially die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely throws shit off a bit.
No, it fully throws you. I've talked about this before on the podcast. I grew up a kid who was watching 2020 every night, like with my mom.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Like, that was just our shit, was like always watching 2020. And to this day, I still get scared from this episode they had where they microwave soup. Like they were warning people that your microwaves might fight back at you, sort of, because you could microwave soup. And if you drop a spoon in the bowl too fast, there could be like a reaction that causes the soup to explode into your face. And they had this girl on there who was terribly scarred from like hot cocoa or some shit that she dropped a spoon in too fast, and it blows your face up and you'll look like a terrible ghoul. And to this fucking day, I am terrified that there's going to be a chain reaction from me heating up soup or something in a microwave.
Oh, that's...
You be eating soup like that?
Bro, I try it all. I'm a wild guy over here, man.
Having a rainbow soup party and shit. Yeah.
I got about 6 soups set up.
Yeah.
It's a rainbow in my belly when I'm finished.
Man. Call me Talib because I'm getting hit with the soup blast, baby.
I think we did it. I think we covered what we needed to cover here. It sounds like we're all in agreement that rainbow parties probably were not real. And if they were, invite me next time. Don't be like that.
Don't hold out now.
Yeah. That ain't cool to not invite everybody to the rainbow party. Miles, do you want to tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Yeah, find me at Miles of Gray on Twitter. Whatever they got at symbols, I'm at Miles of Gray. Shit, even on PlayStation Network. I keep it consistent. You can also find me on the daily news, politics, culture, comedy show I do called the Daily Zeitgeist. And if you like 90 Day Fiance, I also do a podcast called 420 Day Fiance with Sophia Alexandra. And yeah, a bunch of shit. But anyway, yeah, check my socials out. You can see it all there.
Hell yeah. Bori, what you got?
Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. That's the only place I'm at, except for Patreon. Patreon.com/David Borie, DavidGborie. I just filmed my special last week. It was great. Thank you so much to everybody that came out. I'm doing updates and letting you in on the editing process, and that will be available to purchase in 6-7 weeks.
Hell yeah. So do all that stuff, Patreon, and be ready to buy that shit when it comes out. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman. I'm on all the social media. I don't even be using it like that, but I'm on there. And if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracy theories, if you want to tell us who in the Asian or Mexican community was sucking dicks until they had to get their stomach pumped, send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and buy the merch, subscribe, like, do all those things. That's it. Bye, bitch.